This video is about dealing with duplicate data using SQL. In this video, we will see mainly three things. The first is about identifying duplicate data from a master table in SQL. The second, we will see three methods of deleting duplicate data from a master table. And the third one is about easy method to save the result in a new table because it is always not recommended to delete or modify our master table. It is always recommended to create a copy of the table and modify that table or save the unique results in a new table. So we will see how to do that in a very easy way in this video. So for that, we have already created a table called as customer table. The DDL and DML to create this table will be provided in the description. And this is the customer table. Let us query the table and see what is the table having and what we are supposed to do. So this is our table. I have also created the same table in Excel. Let us go and examine what we are trying to achieve. So this is the table that we are having. This is the customer table, customer input table. And when we examine this customer table, we can see that we have duplicate records for first name, last name, and country corresponding to each of the IDs. So if we take ID 1, we can see that this record is getting duplicated, but the ID is different. Similarly, when I come to this IDs 4, 5, and 6, we can see that the first name, last name, and country is again getting repeated for the three IDs. But IDs are different. But when we do some analysis on the table, we will be having some actual duplicate data and it will create some issue. So what we are trying to achieve here is we are trying to modify this table into a table which is having only unique records. So if we compare these two table, we can see that this table is having 6 record and is having duplicates. But when we come to our expected output table, we can see that this table contain only unique records and none of the first name, last name or country is getting repeated. So this is what we are trying to achieve. And the most important thing is that we are going to modify the master table or a copy table which is created based on the master table rather than simply identifying the unique results. So let us go back to SSMS and write query for the same. Let us start with the first method. The first method, we will see how to use group by and having clause to identify the duplicate records and then modify the master table using the same query. The first method is using group by and having clause. So let us start writing query. We'll start with a select clause. Now the records we want or the columns we want from the table are first name, the second column is last name, and the third column is country column. Now this is taken from the table customer. This is the table from which we are fetching the records. Now we are going to write a group by clause, that is group by the same three column, that is first name, last name, and country. Now we have completed the query, and before running the query we have to do one more thing because now we have to identify the duplicate records or the record which is appearing multiple times. For that we will use a having clause, that is having count of star greater than 1. Now when we run this query we will get all the duplicate records. Let us run this query and let us see what we are getting. Invalid column name first name, it's because we missed an S in the first name column. Yeah, now it's correct. Now let us run this. We will get the result. Execute this, and now we have identified the duplicate record. These are the duplicate records from the input customer table. Now we want to delete these records from the parent customer table. Now before modifying this query, let us go back to the Excel file and see what we are expecting in the result once again. So this is our expected result, and in the ID column we can see that the ID corresponding to each of the record is the maximum ID for that particular record. So for Raj Gupta India, we have two IDs, that is 1 and 2, but in our output table we are having 2. That is the maximum ID corresponding to that record. And when we are coming to James Barry UK, which is repeating 3 times, we can see that 6 is the ID which is required in our output. So this is the ID or the record we are looking for in the output. So we have to modify our query in such a way that we want maximum ID for that particular record in our modified table. Now let us go back to SSMS, and now we will write a query that is select the same three columns, that is first name, last name and country. We'll copy these three columns, first name, last name and country. And now we are going to write a max of ID as ID column, and this is taken from the customer table, that is customer table, and we will write a group by clause based on the same query, sorry, same column name, that is first name, last name and country. Paste it. Now execute this. We will get unique records from the table or the record which we were looking for, that is ID 6 3 and 2, the same ID, that is 6 3 and 2. But our aim is to modify the master table, not to only identify the unique record. So now we have to modify the master table. For that we are going to use the delete clause in SQL, that is delete from customer table. Now we are going to write a where clause where ID not in these three particular IDs. So what we have to do is we have to copy this query, paste it inside this parenthesis, and before running this query, remove these three columns, because when we are writing a subquery in the where clause, it will take only one column as the argument for select. So we have to remove all the three other columns. Now we have select max ID as ID from customer, then group by all the three other column. Now if we run this alone, we will get the ID column only, that is ID 6 3 and 2. So where ID not in these three records, we are going to delete from the customer table. Now execute this. Execute. So three rows are affected, which means three records have been deleted. Now let us query the actual master customer table. Select star from customer table. So this was the master table. Now let us run this and see what are we having in the result. Execute this. So this is the output, or this is the status of the master table currently. So let us copy this and go back to Excel and compare this with the expected output. We can see that we have the exact matching output. So this is the first method. Now let us move on to our second method. Before starting the second method, let us truncate the customer table once, and let us insert some duplicate records into the customer table, because we have modified the actual customer table. Now I have truncated the customer table. Let me insert the same duplicate records into the customer table once again. So now our customer table is having the same input table, sorry, same input which we saw initially. Now let us start writing query using the second method. In the second method, we are going to use two concepts. The first one is CTE and the second one is row number function. So using CTE and row number function, let us see how we can delete duplicate record from the master table. Let us start writing the query. We will start with a select clause. Select. Now let us take all the required columns from the input table, that is first name. The second column is last name, and the third column is country. Now we are going to use the row number function. Row number, and after the row number function, we will use the over clause, and inside the over clause, we are going to partition the result based on three columns, the same three input columns, that is first name, last name, and country column. Paste it here. Now we will order the result based on the ID column. Order by ID. Let it be in ascending order. So let us give a column name as duplicate count. Now we are selecting these columns from the customer table. Execute this. Let us see what is the result. Execute this. Now we have a new column, that is duplicate count. Let us also put the ID column here. Now let us execute this once again. Now we can see that we have a new table with a new column, that is duplicate count column, which is created based on the row number function. And we can see that all the records other than this one, or other than one corresponding to the duplicate count, are duplicate records. So if we take the example of James Barry, who is having three records, apart from this one, we can consider 2 and 3 as duplicate record. And when considering Raj Gupta India, we can say that the record corresponding to duplicate count 2 is a duplicate record. Now let us consider this query as a CTE, that is with CTE as put the entire query inside a parenthesis. Now simply write a select clause, select star from CTE. Execute this and see, we will get the same result. Now instead of this star, we are going to use a delete clause. Delete from CTE, and we are going to write a condition based on the where clause, where this duplicate count which we are taking from the CTE, duplicate count greater than 1. Now we have completed our query. Let us run this and see what is happening. Execute this. Now we can see that three rows are affected. Ideally, three rows should have been deleted from the customer table. Customer table. Execute the select clause, that is select star from customer table once again, and let us see if the customer table have been modified. Select star from customer. We can see that our customer table again has been modified and we are having only unique records. But if you remember, we can see that there is a difference between the output currently we have obtained and the output which we obtained using group by and having clause. Because in the group by and having clause, we were having a different output. The ID was 2, 6, and 4. Currently, we are having ID 1, 3, and 4. It is because here inside the partition by first name, last name, country, after this we have provided an order by clause. We provided order by ID in the ascending order. If we have given a descending inside this query, we would have got the same exact result. So that is why we got a different result. But ideally, we have duplicate records removed from the table and we have only unique record in the master table. So that is what we were looking for. We have completed our second method. Now let us move on to our third method. Before moving on to the third method, let us once again truncate the table customer and insert duplicate records once again. So I have truncated the table. When truncating the table is not getting deleted. Instead, the entire data within the table is getting deleted. That is why we truncate the table instead of deleting the table or dropping the table. Now we have inserted duplicate records into the table once again. If I execute this select star from customer, we will see the table with duplicate record. Now let us start writing the query for third method. In the third method, we will be seeing two other concepts to deal with duplicate data. The two concepts are inner join and rank function. So using inner join and rank function, let us see how we are going to modify the result. Let us start writing the query once again. We will start with a select clause and let us take all the columns from the input customer table. Now we are going to write a rank function. Rank to open and close parenthesis. We are going to write an over clause. Inside the over clause, create a partition based on the three columns, that is first name, last name, and country. Partition by first name, last name, and country. First name, last name, comma, country. And after that, we will use an order by clause, order by ID. And we will give a name for this column as RNK, is rank. And this is taken from the customer table. Now let us execute this and see what is the result. Yeah, invalid column name, because I made once again the same mistake of naming the first name column incorrect. Now execute this. We will get a column, sorry, we will get a table with a new column, that is rank column, which is almost same as the result what we got for the previous query using row number. So we have a table with a new column rank, where if we analyze we can see that for James, records other than the first record, which is corresponding to rank 1, are duplicate record. That is, records corresponding to rank 2 and 3 are duplicate record. And when we come to Raj, we can see that record corresponding to rank 2 is a duplicate record. So we have to delete the records corresponding to ID 2 and ID 5 and 6 from the input parent master table. So for that, let us put this query inside a parenthesis. Now let us put this inside a parenthesis. Let us give an alias name, that is A. And outside this, we will write again a select clause, select. Now we are going to select all the columns from the customer table once again. That is star from the customer table, from customer table, and we are giving an alias name, which is B, to the customer table once again. And we are going to use the inner join clause, inner join the second table, that is the table which we created using the rank function. Now after this, we are going to write the join condition on b dot id equal a dot id. And before running this query, we will write one more column in the outermost query, that is b dot rnk, which is the rank. Now execute this and see what is the result we are having. We will get the exact same result. Sorry, it is not b dot, it is a dot. Now let us run this and we will get the same exact result. Yeah, but some more columns are additionally added, but we have to make a small change, that is instead of star we will modify this to b dot star. Now execute this, we will get the exact same result which we got in the previous query or the innermost query. Now we modified the query in such a way because we want to use the inner join, and then based on that only we will be able to delete records from the parent table. So what we are doing here is we will modify this query by removing this select clause until this rank, that is delete from customer B inner join, and all the query or all the other part remains same. But finally we have to write a where clause, where a dot rank greater than 1. Before running this query, we have to make one more change. After this delete, we have to write the alias name of the first table. Now execute this. Our message is 3 rows are affected. Now let us query our customer table and see if the table has been modified. Select star from customer. Execute this. So we can see that we got the exact same result which we got in our previous method using row number and CTE. That is, IDs are 1, 3 and 4, and the output, and in the output table or the master table currently we are having only unique records. Now as I have explained, we will see one more thing in this video. That is, it is not always recommended to modify the master table. So instead what we can do is we can actually create a copy of this table or save the unique records in a new table using the into statement. So for that we will come back to this group by and having clause, and let us copy this query which we use to identify the unique records. That is select first name, last name and country from, sorry, country comma max id as id from customer table, and grouping by the same 3 columns. Copy this, paste it here. Now if I run this query, we will get only unique records. Now instead of going back and deleting these records or deleting the other records from the master table, what we can do is we can simply write a into here, that is into customer underscore copy. That is, we are creating a new customer copy table and saving the result obtained from the query into the customer copy table. Now execute this. Three rows are affected. Here the customer copy table have been inserted with the three unique records. Now let us write a select star on the customer copy table. Select star on the customer copy table. The customer copy table will only have the unique records. So instead of modifying the master table, we created a copy of that table with only unique records. So these are the three methods by which we can deal duplicate data in our SQL master table. If you find this video helpful, subscribe our channel for more. Thank you.